it's hard because, if we were selling a yoga mat, right? We sell a yoga mat, we go, we put it online, we put it on Amazon or whatever. If, a bunch of people give it 2 stars, it's a yoga mat. You can make some adjustments. You can make it better, right? But when it comes to coaching, we are the product. We are the service. So if somebody were to give us a 2-star review, it fucking hurts. Sup? How's it going, HIC family? Zander Fryer here. Hope everybody's having a solid Monday. Now, I wanted to give you a quick little Monday morning motivation and run through the exact thing. It's simpler than you think. The exact thing that you need to be focusing on in your business. 80% of your time in your business, you need to be spending doing this right now until you reach that point of really about the 20 to 30K a month mark. And then even then, it's still really important. It may just not be 80% of your business. So I was going through one of the things that I do at the end of the year. It's the end of the year right now. And one of the things that I do at the end of the year is I go through quick glances. I do quick glance run-throughs of a lot of the books that I've read over the years. And one of the books that I went back to is a book called Ready, Fire, Aim. All right. Ready, Fire, Aim. If you haven't heard of it, it's by a guy named Mark Ford. I think his pen name is Michael Masterson or something like that. Mark Ford is his name. He's actually a mentor, a personal mentor of a good friend and mentor of mine, Craig Ballantyne. Now, Mark Ford is an amazing entrepreneur. He's built over a couple of dozen different 8-figure, even 9-figure businesses over the course of the last 30 years, and he mentors a lot of different entrepreneurs. And one of the things that he says in that book, Ready, Fire, Aim, is probably one of the most profound things that every single coach needs to be hyper aware of, especially if you're just a starting coach. And one of the things basically that he says is, and he spends the first 4 chapters saying this, by the way, so he goes into depth on this. He says, the biggest mistake that you can make when you're a starting entrepreneur is focusing on your product and focusing on your service. And this is mind-blowing. What does he mean by that? He says, 80% of your time and energy needs to be focused on selling one thing. 80% of your time and energy as a business owner when you're first starting off until you reach, he says basically the $500,000 to $1 million mark. Now, I think in the coaching space, it's a little bit lower, but he says until you reach $500,000 or the $1 million mark, the one thing that you need to be focusing on in your coaching business is selling. And I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why, okay? I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why the one thing that you need to be focusing on, 80% of your time and energy needs to be focused on sales and sales-related activities. So sales-related activities could include lead generation. It could include content. It's everything before the person actually gets into your world and becomes a client. Now think about this. If you want to coach, if you want to be a coach, you never get the opportunity to coach unless you sell that person on becoming a client with you. Does this make sense? Does this make sense to you? So this is the reason number 1. The reason number 1 that you have to focus on sales first is because sales fucking comes first. Sales comes first. You have to be a business owner first. You have to be a salesperson first before you even have the fucking opportunity to coach and change somebody's life. You have to focus on sales first. Without sales, without leads, without content, without the energy that you put out in the world, you will never be able to have the clients that you want to change their lives. One of the best marketers, I shouldn't say a good marketer, one of the best marketers in the world, Jesus, now I can't even remember his name right now. Dean Jackson, there we go. One of the best marketers in the world, Dean Jackson, says, businesses don't die because they don't have a great product. There are millions of businesses that die even with great products and great services. They don't die because they don't have a great product. They die because there are people out there that need your product, that need your service, that don't know about you, that you're not selling into working with you. Marketing and sales comes first. This is the first reason that you need to spend 80% of your time on sales and sales-related activities. The big problem for most coaches is that we get caught up in, perfection paralysis, overanalyzation, and wanting to make something perfect right from the beginning, mostly because you're afraid of fucking up, mostly because you're afraid of making a mistake, mostly because you're afraid of people judging you. But the reality is, you don't get to work with anybody unless you sell them. Does this make sense? So that fear we have to let go. It's hard because, if we were selling a yoga mat, right? We sell a yoga mat, we go, we put it online, we put it on Amazon or whatever. If, a bunch of people give it 2 stars, it's a yoga mat. You can make some adjustments. You can make it better, right? But when it comes to coaching, we are the product. We are the service. So if somebody were to give us a 2-star review, it fucking hurts. It really hurts. So most of us as coaches spend 80% of our time trying to perfect the product. You try to perfect the product, and I'm going to get to this in just a second because truthfully, the only way to perfect the product is selling, and that I'm going to get into that in just a second here. But you try to perfect the product before, and the biggest problem with this is that you spend 80% of your time on the product rather than 80% of your time on selling the product. Lead generating, putting content out there, learning the language to market to your audience. You need to spend 80% of your time. You need to be a business owner and a salesperson and a marketer first before you even get the opportunity to coach. So step one, it comes first. So you have to put it first. Number 2, the only thing that kills a business, just like I was talking about, what Dean Jackson said, the only thing that can kill your business is a lack of cash flow. The only thing that can kill your business is a lack of cash flow. You have to have cash to stay alive. You have to have cash to keep moving forward. You could have the best product in the world. You could be really profitable. But if you do not have cash flow, your business will die. So you have to focus on sales first. Otherwise, your business will die. Well, if you say, oh, Zander, but I'm in a 9-to-5, so I've got some other cash coming in. Well, do you always want to be in a 9-to-5? No. The whole reason for starting this damn business is so that you can get out of a 9-to-5. Well, how do you get out of 9-to-5? You get cash flow. You get cash flow in your business to get out of your 9-to-5. What happens once you get out of your 9-to-5 and you start to spend, instead of 40 hours a week on your 9-to-5, you spend 40 hours a week solely on your business. You start to scale up when you put more time and energy into that one thing rather than being split focused. Oh my God, it's amazing. Cash flow, sell first. This is the first thing you have to focus on, all right? So number 1, sales come first. Number 2, cash flow or lack thereof is the only way to kill your business. And let's get to number 3. Sales makes your product better. What? What, Zander? That's right. Sales, selling more, working with more people is the only way to make your product perfect. Everybody out there, all the coaches out there want to make their product perfect from the beginning. But the truth is it'll never be fucking perfect from the beginning. You have to be willing to put out C- work in order to learn what C+ work looks like. In order to learn what B- work looks like. In order to learn what B+ work looks like. To see what A- work looks like. To get to an A+. It will take you iterations. It will take you dozens of clients, maybe hundreds of clients to get to the point where you have absolutely mastered something. We've worked with nearly 600 clients, 600 coaches at this point. Now, the first coach that I ever worked with, do you think this program was perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was a solid coach, but I learned so much from those first 5 clients and those first 10 clients and those first 20 clients, those first 50 clients, all the way through those first 100 clients. We're still learning things. At 600 clients, we're still learning things to get better and iterate and make ourselves, even more refined. So how can you expect that you're going to have a perfect product when you've only worked with a handful of people or you haven't worked with anybody at all? The only way to perfect your product is to sell more people and work with more people. Your product will never be perfect. It will never be perfect. But the more people that you work with, the more people that you sell into working with you, the better it'll be. Now, this seems so backwards because everybody thinks they want to put together a perfect program first. But the truth is, and this is something that I learned in the tech industry, you have to put out what we call a minimum viable product. MVP, this is something you learn in the corporate world. This is something you learn in the tech industry. You have to put out a minimum viable product, something that is the bare minimum that will get the results that people will want to buy, that will be good enough, right? You have to put out the bare minimum at the beginning. And only after the bare minimum, only after this minimum viable product, can you move forward from a version 1.0 to a version 1.2, to a version 1.5, to a 2.0, to a 2.5, to a 3.0, 3.5, right? I think we're somewhere around like a iteration 3.2 in high impact coaching, right? But it's taken us hundreds of clients. It's taken us years of iterations. And we've also made millions of dollars at the same time. And we've helped hundreds of people that have gotten amazing results. But we're still working on refining. But the only way that we can continue to refine is to continue to work with more people so that we can get more feedback, so that we can constantly get better. This is amazing. It's like paid market research. Did anybody ever think about this? You're literally getting paid to do market research and get better at your craft, to refine your capabilities, to refine your skill sets. But you have to accept that sales comes first. So these are the 3 reasons that you have to put in the very beginning until you get to that point of 20, 30K a month in your coaching business. You have to put 80% of your focus. 80% of your focus on sales and sales-related activities, because without the sales and the sales-related activities, you don't even get the opportunity to coach. You don't even get the opportunity to change people's lives. Now, the beautiful part about this is when you realize that sales and sales-related activities is actually a form of coaching. It's a form of helping people get out of their own way. It's a form of helping people make the decision to change and transform their lives. You'll realize that when you're spending 80% of your time on sales and sales-related activities, you're actually spending 100% of your time on coaching. You get to make a lot more money and help a lot more people. So never forget that, all right? Never forget that. Looking forward to helping you guys. Hope you guys are all having a great, great week, all right? I love you guys. I'll chat with you soon.